Do you guys see that HBO Max changed its name? Or I'm sorry. Max changed its name back to HBO Max.
Back to HBO Max
today.
Wow.
It was HBO Max, then it was Max, then it was Max with a different logo, then it was Max with a different logo. And as of today, it's back to HBO
See, that's
Max.
not even the full history. You're forgetting about before that, it was HBO Go. And then before that, HBO was just a subscription package that you paid for in addition to your cable.
Yeah.
Right? I had HBO Go. I used to use my dad's friend's family's DirecTV login to get into their HBO Go account to watch Game of Thrones at high school.
That's badass.
And then I just kept that password and account saved on my computer until they got rid of HBO Go. Because you could use that up until like a few years ago.
Yeah. I feel like most people have at least one account they don't pay for. I feel like that is most people. They are. It's a web.
100%.
But they're cracking down, apparently. I hit on my friend. I was like, hey, I need your Disney Plus password again. He's like, they're cracking down on IPs now.
No, I heard
we can't even steal and loot the streaming services content anymore.
The business side of it was Netflix finally crossed the fucking Rubicon. They finally said, hey, we're cracking down on password sharing after being cool with it for so long. Everyone's like, this is it. This is the last straw. I'm canceling Netflix. You pissed me off. And then nobody canceled Netflix. And then the subscriptions went way up. And so everybody learned that that's the way to do it. So now everybody's everyone's copying what Netflix. Disney's doing it. HBO's doing it. Everyone's cracking down on password sharing.
We just talked. We were hanging out with a friend. Perhaps I won't name him. The Brimson Clur, who said that they pirate everything because they're sick of all the streaming services. So they just went back to pirating, and they use a home Plex server to stream everything now. You can use Plex and your own video files and then use that to stream to your phone, your computer, like even when you're away. And he just built this out. It's apparently pretty easy to do. I was reading about it myself and I was like, this would allegedly be awesome to do that.
When I'm trying to do something like pretty simple on my computer and then somebody messages me and you're like, why don't you just install your own Linux box with these different server tools and use these client interfaces to do like 100 different things, and that way you can run the server yourself instead of needing to pay a company $4 a month to do the whatever Minecraft server. It's like at some point, my money, my time is worth.
Anti-tech. I'm not anti-tech. I'm normally like, I don't want to make the hard, painful thing. But the Crimson Blur is also lazy like that, and he figured it out, so it can't be that hard.
Okay, all right.
Him doing that means it can't be that hard.
I think the part of what you're saying, and I know you're embellishing, but I think people are getting pushed to the edge where it's like, okay, to watch all the things I want to watch or do all the things I want to do, I need to pay, instead of like a couple $7 subscriptions, I'm paying 4 different $20, $25 subscriptions.
Just the thing you described does not sound like some easy alternative to paying.
No, it's definitely more steps, right? There's always a layer of friction there that I think the average person would never fight through. Yeah. But I think it's one of those things where it's not as hard to set up as you think it is. And then once you do it, you've fought through all the friction that you need. Pretty much.
Based on my audience, people are pirates like crazy lately. I mean, I remember when I was younger, there was a huge wave of piracy around music. I would pirate everything I ever listened to.
Yeah.
And then it kind of dropped off as Spotify became consumer friendly and all that stuff became. And I feel like right now, the way that subscription services are, all these young people are pirating everything. They probably talk about pirating every single show. I can't think of something they don't pirate.
I think music might be one of the main ones, right? Because you don't
don't pirate music. I think they pirate
music. No, that's what I mean. Music is one of the things you don't have to pirate because the streaming services basically have everything available, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like as soon as you tread into TV went in this direction, I feel like sports is the most obvious one. I'm finally encountering this as like I've become an active NBA fan in the last few years. Like gone from passively following the league to actually wanting to watch a lot of the games. And it is a miserable experience to watch sports games. I pirated for so long, or like watched, the streams online of games. That also is inconvenient in its own way. And then I've been trying a YouTube TV like free trial subscription to watch the NBA playoffs. It works pretty well, but then you have like blackout laws and stuff. Dude. And I'm like, I can't even watch the teams that I want to watch the most. Yeah. And then this also, once I start paying it for it like full price, is like $80 a month just so you can watch sports. And then you have all these addendums on like which actual games premiere on which channels and stuff. It's just as soon as you like create so much inconvenience, people start looking for
Dude, whoever
easier.
can crack the code of you can watch an NBA game and restream it with your own commentary with chat on the side. If they can crack that, or they can monetize it and they get the money from it, they're gonna make untold billions. If you could have like an ex-player pull up the feed, be able to stream it, and then the money from that is commercialized and goes back to the NBA, it's gonna make so much fucking money. If you could just make it easy, because everyone young now watches the highlights or the Stream East, illegal stream.
But people can't figure out how to monetize it. That's
no, they can't.
the big thing.
But they haven't even tried. They only do it in the old cramped, package way.
Because they're still cashing out on the old
they
cramped package way.
They make big money.
One thing I was thinking about, the NBA complains about it's been complaining about its ratings a lot and how this is going down. I think to me, the most obvious thing is you have a ton of young fans who aren't going to pay for basically a cable package to follow the sport.
Right.
I wonder if you add up, I wonder if the ratings or the fan engagement is actually going down for watching full games.
Yeah.
If you include all the free
versus
pirated
just pirating.
viewership.
Yeah.
I wish there was a way
Dude,
to
I think
know.
that's a really fair point.
Because I do think there's an argument of maybe ratings are going down no matter what because people just passively engage through highlights and stats rather than watching actual games.
Yeah.
But I wonder if you include the data of the illegal streaming, if there was a way to do that, if the ratings are actually going down at all. You'd have something
I
concrete
haven't
to
watched official, in a way they would count my view, the NBA at all this season, but I've watched almost every fucking game through Stream East, piracy, or YouTube. So I'm not getting counted, and I assume some people like me. So yeah, that's probably a fair point. I wonder if the cultural relevance is still there or increasing, but it's not being tracked or
That's
measured.
why I feel like the NBA specifically is more culturally relevant than ever. There's more fans and it seems to be a growing sport, especially globally. Basketball is becoming bigger and bigger. So it's hard for me to believe that the ratings of the league are also going down at the same time, genuinely.
Maybe they should call it NBA Max.
that's the issue. But eventually,
no, but then it would just be
NBA.
it's just Max. It would just be Max.
It's similar to HBO. NBA isn't really the brand name.
No,
Nobody cares about that. What they love is the word Max.
We actually no. What if it was NBA Go, but you used your cable subscription to log in still?
You know what's fucked up about it is somebody got paid a lot of money to be the consultant that said, we have to change this name or this logo or this, millions of dollars of a company that's in debt. Warner Bros. Discovery is going to some fuckhead to be this is the idea. We need to be HBO.
Hey,
Max.
it's not some fuckhead. It's a college student who started looking into this a few months ago. But they went to an Ivy League. Yeah. So show some respect on their name.
It's just
Jesus
crazy.
Christ.
At
You
least
have no respect for consultants. It's disgusting. It's disgusting.
Oh my God. You wouldn't believe the things on and off the pod that he says about consulting.
I will take this stance. You guys are shaming me.
Every episode, he starts by sacrificing a consultant in the bathroom. It's covered in blood.
And I say no.
Yeah.
I stand for consultants and the good work
you're
they do.
pro McKinsey.
And there's no between.
As our Patreon subscription revenue grows, we will hire a more expensive consultant to sacrifice every episode. Right now, it's just Deloitte. Right?
Yeah,
We're going to get to
Deloitte, and then we
McKinsey.
get Bain Capital, and then we go to McKinsey.
I mean, I can dream. We've set some lofty goals.
Unironically, let's hire a consultant and see what they tell us to do with the podcast. That'd be so sick.
Funny.
Dude, they'd say to fire Brandon. No, you're gonna want to cut.
show up with a headband.
You want to cut some costs.
Let's do a consultant episode. We do everything they say, and it's all based on a consultant. And it's probably really fast topics. We're constantly changing. There's
would be
ads everywhere.
funny.
This would be awesome, dude. This is what you can enable.
There's a black bar over my phone.
Yeah, black bar. Yeah. Or big arrows being click here.
Click. Comment on it.
I had one close friend of mine worked at Deloitte for a long time. He was putting up a record WoW hours at that job.
Oh, just clocking it on WoW.
yeah,
24/7.
just playing an incredible
respect
amount
the
of
hustle.
WoW.
Anyone who finds a way in the cracks of the white collar office system to do nothing and play video games all day and get paid, it's a bravo. I respect you. It's
I can villain chair.
Yeah.
I don't like that. And you know why? Because I've been on the receiving end where I needed people to actually get their shit
do
done and they
something.
didn't. Here's an example of a company you might have heard of. The fuckers at Twitch didn't do any work ever.
Okay.
Back me up. Have you ever worked with
I'm
any-
backing up. This is unfortunate.
Okay,
I'm
you
backing
worked
up the
with Blur.
village
I
here.
have friends.
You worked with Blur. Which
I
is
didn't work.
horrible.
Oh, I did work with
so
Blur.
that's
You
what I'm
talk
talking
to me about how you're playing League of Legends all day at Twitch.
No, I played Smash Bros. Melee.
Oh, yeah, all day. Look, I have friends and people at Twitch. And this is
fucking
also
for
the
real.
case at Blizzard. So when I worked at ESL,
Yeah.
we worked with Twitch and Blizzard. All the responsibility of making a show happen fell on me. And then they would be like, oh, sorry, can't reply today. We have a big raid going on. It's Thursday at 2 p.m.
It's called culture.
The French
It's called culture.
didn't work at all in their office. They refused to work. They're like, hey, sorry, we've already had 25 hours of
You
work
said the
this
French?
week. Well, also, the French were even worse. They played video
No,
games all day.
okay, now I'm on your side.
Okay.
'Cause
And
it-
I love French people. However, it is very frustrating to work with French people when there's deadlines. And let me be clear, the French office was telling us what we needed to do and then would clock out for the next 4 days
No, I'm gonna
and
go
not
ahead
help us.
and mask off, say Europeans in general
No.
in office culture are tough to
All
work
Europeans,
with
quote.
because they have a higher quality of life, because they get so many fucking holidays. I had a German colleague who has like a bank holiday every 2 days. And every 2 days, there's like a quote bank holiday. And they take all of August off.
Fuckers with those better quality of life.
Can we not?
It's just, like obviously I'm stuck under this fucking, boot heel of America. So you better fucking work along with me. If we're in the same company, if I'm in NVIDIA America and you're in NVIDIA Europe, fucking send me the files. Because otherwise I have to do it same deadline. So I'm just doing it and you're on fucking vacation.
I suffered a lot because of people who are playing video games or European or both. and I
feel like
mean
on
that
the-
with
you-
all due respect, but holy shit, did that make my life worse many times.
I feel like if you push past Americans, you get to like Taiwan, where TSMC is apparently complaining about like the quality or devotion of the American
Oh, no,
employees.
for
that
sure.
they have.
then they're the like super hardcore opposite
Yeah.
end of way too much.
Everybody just has a different
The
standard.
Chinese video one, they were looking for waiting on me. And I was waiting on Europe for sure. Yeah,
This
for
chain
sure.
of
It's this
waiting.
chain of like who's going to work more
It
hours.
is fun. It is funny.
Trickle down economics from the French to the Americans to the Chinese, just waiting for the upper row to do work.
Waiting for a short file to be sent.
Yeah. I do. I mean, the European thing is funny because it's true. Like you'll hit people up that you work with, and then you'll get the out of office for this like 2 week stretch, but that'll happen like 4 times in a year.
Yeah.
I'm a little okay, and I say this as someone who has been famously plays video games at his office.
Sure.
It's fine. I'm actually a little with Doug only because in a broader sense, if you're the person who abuses that all the time and you develop no skills in the time that you've worked there,
Sure.
which is, I think so many white collar jobs, you have plenty of time to fuck off. The idea that you have to be at your desk working 7 to 8 hours a day straight is just, to me, like lunacy. Like no one, even if a company culture keeps this idea of like you sitting in your desk for 8 to 10 hours and you can't leave, it very rarely is the person actually working that entire time.
Yeah.
Pretty much never.
You
right?
don't get 8 hours of good mental work a day.
So I'm not a person who thinks that is essential, but I do as the person who I have hired a lot of people, not just at my job now, but I've been a part of the hiring process at companies before this too. And hiring people that say they have a bunch of experience on paper that also are capable of speaking well in the interview. And then turns out they actually have no ability to do any of the work. Because I'm like, yeah, fuck off and play TFT, Nick Yingling, for 4 hours every day.
Not like that you are avoiding naming anyone specific until now, and it's fuck Nick Yingling.
I'm specifically naming Nick Yingling because he's an incredible worker. He's genuinely amazing at his job. But he does, on the days where he doesn't have a lot to do, he comes in and plays some video games, and then he does like maybe the 2 hours or the hour of work that he has to do. And then maybe another day he'll work like 8 hours or 9 hours, right? It depends on what he needs to get done.
Yeah.
I think the problem is some people will find this job at a giant corporation, they'll work, and I'm not faulting you for scamming Deloitte.
Yeah.
I don't care about that part. I care about when you come to me and ask for a job, and then I hire you, and then I, selfishly am on the receiving end of your lack of skills. That would be my selfish defense of what
he's part of the
Doug
bosses
is saying.
now.
Because
He's part of the bosses now.
I'm different because I'm a boss who says, yes, fuck, I don't care if you play video games at work, just as long as your work gets done. That's pretty sick.
I think that's fair. I will say it is worth noting, this is the asterisk for the audience, that I go to their office quite a bit. Every single time I've come in past 2 p.m., you're playing Mario Kart Wii. Every time.
Yeah.
And you're yelling at whoever you're playing against. You're mad at them.
Yeah. I mean, they deserve it. That's part of it. So consider that for one. But I'm a true, I live and die by my own values. So
I think that makes sense.
And so you're saying, let's put this together. You